Upon discovering she is carrying twins, how will Elena's relationship with Liam evolve? Can they overcome the shadows of their past to welcome the new lives together? Join us for an in-depth look at Elena's adventures. The subscribe button is right there waiting for you. Chapter 58, Elena's POV. I let out a gasp as I jolted up from the bed I was just laying in. I felt around my body and let out a sigh of relief as I felt my belly. My babies were okay. I quickly got up and changed into some sweats and a t-shirt, and focused on what was going around me. Finally I heard it. There was a battle going on out there. I used my vampire speed and followed the noise. As I got there I looked around and noticed we were greatly outnumbered, and I saw someone on the ground and noticed it was Liam. I quickly raised my hand, and with the flick of my wrist the person on top of him was thrown of him. With another flick his neck was snapped. I could now feel his eyes on me. As I closed mine and began to work my magic, I heard my name being called. As I raised my hands up, and roots shot from underground and wrapped around the enemy's neck. I saw vampires on their side too and threw fireballs at them, watching as they burnt up. Soon someone was walking out of the woods. I saw as they removed their cape, and there stood Cecil, not surprised but happy I get to fulfill my promise to her. She looked around until her eyes caught mine. She looked shocked as she looked my up and down, her eyes stopping at my stomach. "You were supposed to be dead," she said as she stopped. "Well, look at me, not even death wants me," I said, mocking what she had told me before about how no one wanted me. "You bitch," she said as she tried to use her powers on me. But my wall had already been up protecting me and everyone here from her powers. "You were supposed to be dead. No one ever does their job around here," she said angrily as she used her vampire speed and ended up right in front of me. But using my powers I threw her all the way to the other side of the field. "Remember what I told you, Cecil," I told her angrily as I could now feel my eyes turning red and feeling the anger radiating off my body. Using my powers I broke her arm. She fell to the ground crying and gripping her hand. "You're going to pay," I told her, but she caught me by surprise as she used some type of power and threw me. I used my air power and caught myself so I wouldn't hit the ground and hurt myself or the babies. I landed smoothly on the ground as I rubbed my belly, feeling the babies move. I outstretched my hand and used my powers, pulling her towards me, squeezing my hand into a fist as I started choking her with my powers. "That shit you did to me and my babies you will pay for. The times you'd run a blade down my body," I said as I created large cuts on her body, making her feel how I felt. "The times you'd whip me," I whispered as I created the large whip marks on her back. "All the scars you left on my body," I whispered as I left more scars on her body, watching her scream as she felt what I felt. Now she was right in front of me, my hands fully on her neck as I gripped hard, reminding her of what she had done to me. "You will pay for it all. You never deserved your title. All the innocent lives you destroyed. All the trouble you caused, all the things you took from me," I whispered as I saw her lose conscious. "Everything," I whispered. All I could see was red, watching as I was the one holding her and it was in my power. Her life was in my hands. "Elena," I heard, but I ignored them. "Elena," I heard again. "Baby, you need to let go of her so they can take her," I heard in my ear as someone grabbed my hands and ripped them off of her. As soon as my hands were off of her I was broken from the anger-filled trance, and I noticed it was Liam who had pulled me off of her. "Liam," I breathed out as I threw myself at him, hugging him like my life depended on it. Hugging him like he would slip away any moment. "Elena," he breathed in my neck as he picked me up and pulled me as close as he could to him. But my bump was in the way. We both looked down and saw my bump in between us. We both looked up at each other and smiled. "I'm pregnant," I whispered out through a laugh. I see that he laughed as he kissed me. Kissed me with so much love. Kissed me as if it would be our last kiss. "Our baby girl and baby boy," he whispered, putting his forehead on mine. "It's a boy and a girl?" I asked as tears started pouring down my face. "Yes, baby, we are having a baby girl and a baby boy," he said as he gave me a huge smile. I just kissed him again and pulled him in tighter. "I love you," I whispered. "I love you more, baby," he whispered. He set me down and soon I was pulled into another set of arms. I instantly knew whose arms I was in and relaxed as I pulled him closer to me. "I'm sorry," I whispered in his chest. "Don't ever do that again," he said. "No promises," I whispered as he let out a frustrated sigh and pulled me closer. I inhaled his scent. I inhaled the scent of my twin brother who would calm me down when I was younger. He kissed my forehead as he let me go, and soon my brothers attacked me into a hug. "Don't do that again," said Nick. "We thought you were gone," said Elijah. "We thought we'd never get to annoy you again. We'd never get to hear you laugh," said Asher as I saw a tear slide down his face. And now you're stuck with me forever, I whispered as I hugged all three of them the best I could. And now you gave us a niece and nephew. There's going to be too many yous running around. As if having one of you wasn't enough, said Theo as he wiped his fake tears. Now the three of us can gang up and prank y'all, I said as I laughed. Oh, what will we ever do, said Asher dramatically. Soon I was tackled as Celestami and Sapphire were falling towards the ground, but thank God my brothers caught us. Careful, muttered Nick as he helped me up. But that didn't stop them as they hugged me again. Why would you do that, whispered Celeste in my ear as she cried in my arms. We thought you wouldn't make it, whispered Sapphire as she also cried. I'm sorry was all I could say as I continued to cry with them. Chapter 59 Elena's POV. Soon I heard my name being yelled as my mother was coming towards me. As soon as I saw her, my tears started running down my face again. Mom, I said as I hugged her tightly, missing her motherly hug. Oh baby, she said as she pulled me tighter. Dad, I sighed as I felt him hug us. You're in big trouble, he said playfully. Whatever for Dad, I told him playfully. I think there's someone who wants to talk to you, said my dad, pulling away. I looked in the direction he was looking and there stood Freya, looking at me anxiously. Elena, she started, but I pulled her in for a hug. I'm glad you're okay, I muttered as I pulled her to me. Elena, thank you for everything you did for me. You saved me 2 times. You helped me out when you knew you wouldn't be getting out. And then you gave your life for mine, she said as she started crying. And I'd do it again, I told her. That just caused her to laugh and cry more. No please, no more saving me, she said as she pulled away. After I hugged everyone and cried some more, Liam was pulling me back to the pack doctor to check on me. And the babies after all that stuff that just happened. I saw the doctor as he smiled at me and introduced himself. Okay, Elena lay on the bed, and I'm going to listen to the babies' hearts, he said as he got his machine out and brought a whole screen towards him. It might be a little cold, okay, he said as he put the blue jelly on my stomach, causing me to flinch at the coldness. Okay, here's your babies. There's twin 1, which is the boy, he said, point at the first baby. And here's twin 2, your baby girl, he said, smiling as he pointed at my baby girl. I just admired my babies on the screen, smiling hard. I looked over to Liam to see he was already looking at me. He smiled at me as he brought my hand up to his mouth and kissed it as he held it close to him. Okay, everything seems to be fine with the babies. Now let's check on you, he said as he cleaned the blue jelly of my stomach. He checked all my vitals and made sure everything was okay with me before releasing me. Let's go, baby, he said as he picked me up and carried me out the room. Soon we were in his room and we were laying down for a nap. He pulled me flush against him and had his head on top of mine. I missed you, Elena. I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't gotten you back, he whispered, hugging me tighter. I'm sorry, Liam. I'm here now. And I'm not leaving, I whispered back as I started to fall asleep. I love you, Elena, he whispered. And right before I closed my eyes, I whispered, I love you. Chapter 60 Elena's POV. It has been 5 days since I've been back. And everyone is watching me and making sure I don't get taken like I did last time. But I knew I'd be okay. Liam, I'm fine. You can go to your office in the pack house, I told him as I got up with the help of the couch I was just sitting on. Elena, you can't even get up, he said, following me to the kitchen. I just did, I told him as I bent down to see what was in the fridge. Liam, I promise you I will be fine. The 3 of us will. You have work to do. I know you're behind on a lot of work, especially since we are about to take the throne, I told him with a sigh. Yeah, you're right, he sighed. Just if anything happens, just mind link me, okay, he whispered as he pulled me in for a hug. I tried not to flinch at the contact, but all that he did to me is still in my head, especially since I can still feel everything. I saw hurt flash through Liam's face, but he didn't ask me, knowing I wasn't ready to talk about anything. As a matter of fact, he hasn't seen my body yet. And I don't intend on him or anyone seeing it anytime soon. The scars that are all over my body still look very fresh. The bruises still look fresh as well. And I just don't want Liam or anyone to see me like this. I especially don't want him to know what he did to me. I don't want him to feel disgusted by me. With a sigh, I walked towards our room and stood in front of the mirror. The girl who stared back at me was not the same girl from a couple months ago. The girl that stared back at me was damaged. I pulled the turtleneck long-sleeved shirt I wore over my head and looked in the mirror. My back was bruised. I had scars all over, but what stood out was the 4 giant claw marks going down my back. I turned around as I examined the front of my body. My belly was getting bigger and bigger. But I also had scars. And bruises all over. I looked at my neck to see all the scars they left me. I will never be able to forget those horrible months. Because every time I look in the mirror I will be reminded of what happened. I sighed, pulling my shirt back down and making sure to cover myself so he wouldn't see. Elena, I heard someone yell. I walked out the room and down the stairs to see all the girls there. Well, hello, I told them as I hugged each one. So we were thinking, since we didn't get to go on that trip we wanted to go, we can all go on a little getaway, said Madeline. Yeah, of course, if you're up to it, but we just wanted to distract you and for all of us to relax, said Sophie. I'd love to. I told them. Oh my god, yay, where do you guys want to go, said Sapphire. Mountains, said Sophie, and Ellie. Beach, said Madeline. Lake house, said Celeste. Disney, said Sapphire. We have a beach house, I told them as I sat down. Yeah, I'm sure our parents would be okay with us going, said Celeste. Oh my god, that's perfect, said Madeline. We should head up there in 2 days, that gives us the time to go and buy whatever we need, said Sophie. Yeah, that's perfect, I told them. The door opened and I walked all the boys. I made eye contact with Liam and smiled at him. He came behind the couch and hugged me and put his face in between my neck. So we are going up to the beach house in 2 days, said Celeste. What? Said Liam, pulling away. He looked down at me, making sure I was okay with it. I just nodded my head. I don't know if that's a good idea, said Nick, looking at me. I'll be fine, I'm okay. We all need this, I told him. He just sighed and nodded his head. I gave the girls a thumbs up as Liam came and sat beside me and put me on his lap. Are you sure you're okay with going? He whispered in my ear. Yes, babe, we need this, I told him. Okay, if you're sure, he said as he put his hand over my stomach and started moving it around my belly. He leaned his head on mine as he sighed and moved it around. He smiled as he felt one of the babies move under his hand. Okay, so we need to go food shopping and buy whatever it is we taking. But I think we can do that down there, that way we don't have to take food on the way. That could go bad, said Sophie. So that means today we go shopping, screamed the girls, causing all the guys to groan. Chapter 61. Elena's POV. Everybody had left to get ready, and we would all meet at the mall. I went to my closet and changed into a pink tight dress that showed my growing belly, and put on a cream cardigan to hide everything on my back. I went to the bathroom, added some simple makeup and tried to cover everything on my neck the best I could. I added some jewelry and grabbed my bag and my phone and was headed down the stairs. I followed Liam's scent and it led me to his office. Babe, are you ready? I asked him as I leaned on his door. Of course, he said as he hung up the phone and walked towards me. He kissed my forehead, then my lips, and finally my belly. I love you, he said, looking down at me. I love you too, I said, hugging him. He bent down and kissed me with so much love. He finally pulled away and put his hand over my shoulder as we walked out to the garage. He grabbed the keys to his Lambo and opened the door and helped me in. Soon I'm going to struggle to get in and out of here, I told him with a laugh. He just laughed and grabbed my hand. We pulled up to the mall and he quickly got out and ran to my side so he could help me out. I just kissed his cheek as he grabbed my hand. I don't think anyone is here yet, I said, looking around. It's okay, come on, let's look around, he said as he pulled me with him. We walked around and were talking about the babies when we ended up right in front of a baby store. I looked through the window and looked back at him, begging him to go in there. Come on, he said with a smile as he pulled me in. As I walked in there, I felt like I was going to pass out from all the cuteness in this store. Oh my god, how cute is this, I told Liam. I was looking at cute little dresses for our baby girl. I was just picking and picking and picking. It was like I had no self-control. I now had shoes, dresses, and bows for my baby girl. Out of the corner of my eyes, I saw Liam coming my way with hands full of clothes just like me. We both looked at each other and laughed. Babe, you need self-control, I told him, giggling. I'm not the only one apparently, he said as he smiled big. I'll be back, he said as I saw him go to the front of the store where they had some baskets. He came back with all the clothes in there as I also dumped the ones I had in there. I continued to look at clothes and I found her a few more baby outfits. Even Liam has chosen some. Soon we moved back to the boys section where I started dumping more and more clothes. Babe, we might have a problem, I told him as I looked down at our 2 full baskets. Yeah, he said as we walked towards the registers. The lady who scanned our clothes just looked at us as she scanned the clothes. Me and Liam chose to ignore her as he hugged me. Your total is $350. 50, she said. Liam paid and we grabbed the bags. Well, I tried to but only ended up stuck with 2 while he carried the rest. Wow, we leave y'all alone for 20 minutes, and this is where y'all go, said Theo, taking the bags from me as he put his hand over my shoulder. They were cute, I mumbled. Yeah, he said as we all walked around. I ended up going to a maternity store as I bought some dresses, jeans, and some cute tops. The girls walked into a bikini shop and pulled me in there with them. I just looked around trying not to buy anything, knowing I wouldn't be able to wear it. Maybe going to the beach was a bad idea. But with my shopping addiction, I ended up choosing some things, even though I knew I most likely wouldn't wear them. I walked towards checkout. I watched as the girls scanned my stuff, regretting spending money at all. Okay, your total is $160.99, she said. I pulled my card out of my purse and went to put it in, but someone reached around me and swiped their card. I looked around to see Liam as he put in his PIN. He just ignored me and gave me a kiss on the side of cheek. He grabbed my bags and my hand as we walked out together. Babe, you didn't have to, I told him with a sigh. It's okay, Elena. Let me spoil you, I just sighed as we continued walking. As we were walking, I saw people start to bow. I looked at Liam to see him nod at them and give them a small smile. They know you're their future queen, he said as he pulled closer. I just nodded. After we finished shopping, we all headed to a restaurant to eat. We all just talked, and finally me and Liam were on the way to his house. Chapter 62, Elena's POV. I woke up as I felt someone shaking me. I opened my eyes to see Liam leaning over me. Baby, get up, I made you some breakfast and I have somewhere to take you, he said as he kissed my forehead and then my lips. Okay, I'm coming, I said as I looked at the clock. I groaned as I saw it was 9:00 a.m. Come on, baby, it's not that early, he said with a smile. I just sighed and got up as I took a shower. After I got out, I changed into a black long-sleeve turtleneck dress, and I paired a black headband with it. I added some golden hoops and some more jewelry. After I was done, I grabbed my purse and walked down towards the kitchen. You look beautiful, said Liam. Thanks, baby, I said as I looked him up and down. He was wearing a black plain V-neck with some jeans. You look nice, I said as I kissed him. Always, baby, he said with a smirk. I just rolled my eyes and sat down as I ate some pancakes he made us. So where are we going, I asked him as I continued to shove pancakes into my mouth. It's a surprise, he said with a nervous chuckle causing me to lift a brow. Why are you acting so sus, I asked as I got up to wash my dish. I am not acting sus, he said. You are, I said. Am not, he said. Let's just go, he said as he grabbed my hand. He walked me to his Lambo and helped me in. Okay, I'm going to need you to cover your eyes with this, he said, pulling out eye mask. Do I have to? I asked with a little uncertainty. Just please for me, he said. Ugh, fine, I mumbled as I put it on. Thank you, Elena, I heard as I felt him kiss my cheek as he closed the door, causing me to jump. You aren't going to kill me, are you, I asked when I heard him get in. No, that's for another time. Plus I would be the one to do it, I'd send someone else, he said, causing my mouth to drop. You're telling me you wouldn't even do it yourself? You coward, I gasped. He just laughed and grabbed my hand that was on my lap. After 20 minutes we started to come to a stop. I felt him turn off the car, and heard him get out. With my vamp and werewolf hearing, I could hear him walk around the car and finally open my door. Well, this is it, the place where I'm going to leave you, he said with a chuckle. Haha, very funny, you wouldn't, I told him. Sadly, you're right, he said. He pulled me forward and finally he turned me around and pulled it off. My eyes quickly shut due to the sunlight. After finally adjusting, I saw him looking at me with a huge smile. Why are you looking at me like that, you weirdo, I mumbled. I love you, and I know we were living in my house, but that's not enough for us. You and our babies deserve the best. We need more space for our growing family. And I thought this place could be our home, he said with a huge smile. Finally he turned me around, causing me to let out a huge gasp. This is for us? I asked with tears in my eyes. Yes, baby, this is ours, he said, smiling. All I could do was hug him. It was beautiful 3-floor home. Everything about it just looked perfect. Come on, he said. He grabbed my arm and he pulled me towards the front door. He opened the door and pulled me in and my jaw dropped. In front of me was a huge staircase. The interior was black and white. And there was a huge chandelier hanging in between. All I could do was stare in awe. I had no words. I loved everything about it and I was just now seeing it. He led me towards the left of the staircase where it took us into a beautiful kitchen. It had a marble island with white chairs. And the cabinets were white. He pulled me through the door and we ended up in the living room. In here there was a huge fireplace and on top of it was a huge flat-screen TV. There was a huge white L-shaped couch and a coffee table in front. There was also a huge glass door that led to the backyard which looked to be huge. He pulled me back towards the stairs as he turned to the left where there were 3 doors. But the one straight ahead looked to be the master bedroom. We walked in and once again I was in awe. I looked around and saw that the room was also white like the rest of the house, but has a marble wall which had a fireplace and a flat-screen TV with 2 couches in front. There was paintings and pictures of us already on the walls. Behind the bed there was a wall, one side led to the huge closet and the other to the huge bathroom. Chapter 63 Elena's POV. When we walked into the closet I almost cried. It was huge. It was my dream closet. On one side was all of my stuff and on the other was Liam's stuff. I had a section for my shoes, my bags. Even at the center of it all was a table-like thing where it had all my panties and bras in the bottom drawers, and on the top is where all my jewelry was. Wow, I told him as I looked inside. You like it, he said, grinning big. I love it, I told him as I hugged him and kissed him. Okay, come on, he said as he pulled out of the closet and out the bedroom door. He went to the door that was on our left and tears came to my eyes. I thought I could hold them in, but once I walked in this room it was impossible. I love it, I said as I cried in his arms. I couldn't wait to show you this room, I designed it. I hope you like it, baby, he said. And all I could do was kiss him. I kissed him, showing him my appreciation. Thank you, Liam, I whispered as I pecked his lips one more time. He pulled me out that room and onto the one across this one. And there was my baby boy's room, and once again I was crying at how cut everything is. This is perfect, I whispered. He just hugged me from behind and kissed my cheek. Finally we were going down the stairs and we went outside and looked at the huge pool we had in the back, and we also had our own gym. And our own movie room. And I couldn't wait till my babies were big and we could have family movie nights. This is all perfect, I wouldn't want anything differently, I said as I looked at our new home. I'm glad you liked it, baby, he said. Now look in the garage, he said. I went in and I let out an excited scream as I saw my baby, my beautiful white Jeep. Thank you, I said as I kissed all over his face. Of course, baby, now let's go pack for tomorrow, he said. Oh right, I said as I had completely forgotten to pack. Let's go, he said as he picked me up, causing me to let out a laugh. Don't drop me, I yelled with a laugh. I'd never, he said, kissing me. After we got home we packed our bags and finally we went to sleep, our last night sleeping here. Because soon we would be creating memories in our new home. Chapter 64 Elena's POV. Me and Liam has woken up around 8 and gotten ready for the long trip towards the beach house. I had showered and changed into a gray tight dress and paired it with some white sneakers and a jean jacket. I made sure to put on my usual makeup and cover up the usual things. I stared at the mirror wondering how I would be able to hide this there. I just sighed and made sure to put my makeup bag in my suitcase, just as Liam walked in to take the luggage. Are you ready, love? He asked. Yes, I said as I closed the door behind us. Party time, yelled Justin, causing all of us to laugh. I looked around noticing everyone was here and ready for the long 5-hour trip. We all piled into the cars. In the car with me was Liam, who was driving. And they put me in the passenger seat since apparently I need my space. And in the back were Theo, Madeline, Freya and Liam. Okay guys, I call dibs on you, said Theo, causing all of us to groan. He just laughed as he reached over me and grabbed the UX and connected his phone and started playing Party in the U.S.A. by Miley Cyrus. I hopped off the plane at L.A.X. with a dream and my cardigan. Welcome to the land of fame, excess, whoa, am I gonna fit in? We all sang. After a few more songs and us singing our hearts out, we finally stopped for gas. I checked the GPS as I saw we still had 2 hours left. I groaned and hopped out the car and walked towards the bathroom as I felt the need to pee. I quickly sped walk but came to a halt as the smell of blood hit me. Now that I'm more mentally stable in a way, I have a bit more control, but being a pregnant vampire wasn't helping my case, especially since I've never been known to have much self-control. I inhaled as I reached over to hold on to the wall and leaned my head against my arm, trying to calm down. Blood, I heard Stella say. No, I told her. But we haven't had blood, not even mates. I'm thirsty, we need his blood, she whined. You remember what happened last time we lost control. And he was disgusted by us, I told her. I know, she said as I felt her get sad and put her wall up. I just sighed as I tried to control myself. I could feel the sweat dripping down my forehead. What if my babies came out like me? Would he still want them? Come here, I heard as I was pulled from the wall and turned around so I could lean my head against a chest. I inhaled and noticed it was Theo. I'm trying, I whispered. I know, Elena, I know. And I'm so proud of you, he said as he pulled me tighter. I'm thirsty, I whispered again. You haven't had anything since you've been back, he asked. I just shook my head as I started to get lightheaded from the unbearable scent of the blood. And you haven't gotten any from Liam either, he asked, concerned. No, he's not going to take it well, I mumbled. We will figure it out, okay, he said. I just nodded as he pulled me back towards the car. I saw Liam and Ellie staring at me, wondering if I was good, and I just nodded. What's wrong, are you okay? Asked Liam as he rushed out of the car and towards me. Just some pregnancy sickness, I whispered. And you sure you're okay? He asked, concerned, as he helped me in. Yes, I'm okay, I told him. Once he shut my door, I leaned my head against the window and thought to myself, why did I have to be the one with control problems? Why did I have to be the one to have to take care of 3 kingdoms? Why did I have to be me? I was shaken awake. I looked up and saw we were finally at the beach house. We are here, baby, said Liam as he smiled down at me. I just smiled back as I hopped out the car and stretched. Home sweet home, I whispered as I opened the door and walked in. The house still looked the same from the last time we had visited. We hadn't come to the beach house because Derek had been on our ass, and because of me we had to be moving around, and just didn't have time to come down. I still felt bad for everything my family had to do because of me. Most of their lives spent running from him. Everything was fine till I was born, till the supernatural world found out the power I possessed. I will forever be grateful for my family. They could have just left me or sent me somewhere. But they didn't, and for that I love them. Come on, let's go to my room, I told Liam as I pulled him up the stairs. I walked up the stairs to the 2nd floor and turned right and went all the way to the end of the hallway and opened the door on the right. In front of me slept Theo, of course. Welcome to my room, I told him. Isn't this cute, he said with a smirk as he walked around looking at my pictures. Okay, don't make fun of my childhood room, I told him, laughing. As he continued to look around, I decided to lay on the bed. I was tired. The pregnancy was starting to affect me. Are you still tired, he asked as he laid down beside me and pulled me towards him. A little bit, I told him. Come on, they're probably waiting for us, I told him. Ugh, they'll be fine, he said as he got comfortable on my bed. I just walked out of the room and walked towards where everyone else was. What are you guys up to, I asked. We are about to head to the store and get groceries for the week, said Noah. Oh, I'm coming, I told them. Are you? Someone started but were interrupted. Yeah, let's go, said Elijah. You know what, I'll just stay here. Just bring me some ice cream and strawberries. I told him as I saw that they were looking around. I walked up to the room and decided to see if I could find a bathing suit that would cover my scars. I bent down to the suitcase and made a mess looking for something to wear. Chapter 65, Elena's POV. I found a one-piece and decided to pair it with a pink cardigan thing. I left my hair down for extra coverage and made sure to grab my sunglasses. I reached down for my book I had brought and I felt as my sleeve fell down my shoulder. I reached to pull it back up. I looked up and made eye contact with Liam in the mirror. I watched as he looked at the back of my shoulder and then looked at my thighs covered in bruises and scars, and then back up to my face. I could see him starting to get mad. I watched as he got up from the bed and walked towards me slowly. Liam, I said as he reached for the cardigan and pulled it down again. He ran his fingers through the 4 claw marks going down my back. What else did he do to you? He asked quietly as he also traced the scar on the side of my face. Liam, damn it, Elena, what else? He yelled, causing me to flinch back. I felt myself tear up as he looked at me angrily. Elena, he warned Liam. Please, I whimpered. What do you hide so much, he said as he pulled the cardigan down my shoulders. I saw his face go blank as he saw the side of my neck and especially the spot where he would mark me. On my neck I had scars, but what stood out more was that where he was supposed to mark me stood the words reject and unwanted. Derek made sure to remind me that I was rejected and unwanted. He said he always wanted me to remember. What else, he pushed. Liam. I'm not ready to talk about that, I whispered as I went to walk away. Elena. He yelled, pulling me back. I was fucking raped, okay? He raped me over and over. He wanted me to bear his children. I thought these babies were his. I yelled, now completely angry and embarrassed. We really thought these babies were his. Do you know how scared I was? And just imagine his reaction when he found out they weren't his. I continued to yell. Is that what you wanted to know? Are you happy now? I whispered. I looked up at him as I saw him walk out the door and slam it behind him. Liam, I yelled after him. I fell on the bed as the tears poured down my face. This is it. He hates me. He's disgusted by me. I sat on the balcony and stared out into the ocean watching the waves. I saw as they slowly got stronger. At this point I don't think me and Liam will ever be happy. One minute we are good and the next we aren't. And after this I don't think he will want me. I sighed as I leaned my head against the window. Being a pregnant hormonal vampire is not helping my current thirst. I need blood, I said through the mind link with my siblings. How soon, I heard Nick ask. 2 hours max, I told them. I looked out towards the ocean and saw some dude bothering a girl. You, I said as I made my way downstairs and out the back door towards the ocean. As I got closer I saw how uncomfortable the girl really was. Are you okay, I asked the girl. She's fine, said the man angrily. I wasn't talking to you, I said looking at him. It's okay, I said nodding at her as she gave me a grateful smile as she ran off. I was surprised to see them down here as these houses are private, and the Anythiat house is miles from here. You shouldn't have done that, bitch, he said stepping closer. Or what, I said narrowing my eyes at him. I lunged at him but was pulled back by my arm. I looked to see who it was and it was Elijah. Let me go, Elijah, this piece of shit deserves it, I said lunging at him again. Elena, he said with a warning. Yeah, let the whore go, He started but was cut off as Elijah punched him across his face. Now what, you piece of shit, I yelled as I laughed at him. But my smile was wiped off my face as I saw the blood dripping down the side of his head. What are you scared of, a little blood, said the dude. No, I said as I felt my eyes turn red and the veins under my eyes come out. What is wrong with her? He said, now backing up. Elijah, please, he deserves it. And there is no one around us, I said begging him. Elena, no, he said angrily. But why, I told him making my way closer to the dude. Because you will lose control, you don't seem okay, said Theo from behind me. I'm finna, but I won't be if I don't get blood soon. I told the annoyed. Elena, I heard Nick say. I watched as all my siblings walked towards me. I looked to my left as I saw the man running away. He's getting away, I told them as I went to run after him but was pulled back by Theo and pulled to sit down on the sand with them. What's wrong, asked Celeste. Nothing is wrong, let's go back, I told them as I stood up. Elena, talk to us, said Asher. Really, I'm fine. I'm just not ready to talk about it. Please understand, I pleaded them. Okay, let's go back, said Nick as he picked me up bridal style. Damn, Elena, go on a diet, he playfully groaned. Yeah, I told him as I laid my head on his shoulder. Dinner is ready, we heard as soon as we walked in. Nick set me down in a seat beside Liam, who didn't even look at me. I saw Nick look between us with a questioning look. I just ignored him as I got comfortable in the chair. So what do you guys want to do tomorrow, asked Ellie with a clear of her throat. Apparently everyone could feel the tension between me and Liam, because everyone was looking around at each other, wondering what had happened with us now. We should definitely go to the beach and to this mall near here, it has the cutest things, said Haley. Everyone nodded, agreeing with her. Soon everyone was talking about who knows what. I was too busy thinking about what would happen next. I heard through the mind link. I looked up to see Liam not even looking at me. I just ignored him and rolled my eyes. Damn it, Elena, stop being so fucking hard-headed and just fucking eat, I heard through the mind link, causing me to look at him with a what the fuck face. He looked up at me, meeting my eyes, and he had the darkest look on his face. I looked around and noticed everyone was now staring at us, intensely wondering what was currently happening. I grabbed the fork and picked up a piece of steak and put it in my mouth. I looked up to see he was still staring at me. I slowly chewed and with a struggle swallowed it. I covered my mouth with my hand as I felt it start to come back up. I quickly pushed the chair back as I rushed to the Anythiat bathroom and emptied out my already empty stomach. Chapter 66, Elena's POV. I continued to empty my stomach. I felt someone come in. But all I could do was gag due to not having anything to throw up. Are you sure they're mine? I heard behind me, causing me to whip my head back in disbelief. I waved my hand as I slammed the door behind him and made sure to make the room soundproof. Are you fucking serious? Did you just ask me that dumb SS question? I yelled at him. I'm just fucking asking, Elena, he yelled back, annoyed. How could you even fucking question it? I yelled back with tears in my eyes. I felt my fangs extend at the anger going through my veins right now. I got up the best way I could. Don't fucking touch me, I yelled at him as he reached to help me up. I gripped my belly as I felt the twins move in my stomach. What's wrong? He asked, trying to help me. Don't fucking worry about it, I mumbled. Would you care if these babies came out like me? I asked him quietly. I waited for his response, but all I got back was silence. And with that my question was answered. I slammed the door back open and walked up the stairs with the pain in my stomach. I carefully walked up the stairs and into my room. I slammed the door as I fell down, clutching my stomach as I felt them roughly move around my belly. Blood now, I heard Stella say in my head. When everyone falls asleep we will go, I whispered back to her. I don't think I can wait that long, she whispered in my head. We waited the longest 5 hours. We waited till the last person went up to their room and I weakly teleported us to the Inetheat hospital. I found the blood room and went for the one that looked to be the newest. I began to quickly drink it but soon started choking on it as I felt it coming back up. I dropped the blood bag as I coughed everything back up. What's wrong, I asked Stella. I don't know, babies don't like the blood, she whispered. What do they want then, I asked her. Fresh blood, she whispered. I looked around trying to decide my next move. If I have fresh blood I could get caught or get in trouble. But if I don't I will lose control somewhere. I weakly teleported to my go-to alley where I knew drunk people wandered off too. I looked around and noticed a dude smoking nearby. I looked at his body language trying to see what type of person he was. Help, I said as I gripped my belly and pretended I needed help. Ma'am, are you okay, he said as he came closer. No, I just need help getting over there, I said as I leaned over. I quickly looked around us and made sure no one was close. We were pretty far in the alley and where we were at it was pretty dark. Relax, you will be okay, I told him as I looked in his eyes to compel him. I took one last look around us before finally digging in. His blood tasted amazing, I hadn't had blood like this in months. I continued to drink until I felt him start to lose conscious. I pulled back and told him to go home and sleep and to forget this ever happened. I let out a breath feeling a bit more relaxed. I still feel really mad but for now I was calm enough. I teleported back to my room and got ready for bed and soon I was off to the dream world. Chapter 67. Elena's POV. I woke up to the sound of people laughing downstairs. I looked at the clock and noticed it was 11:30. I quickly got up and got in the shower to make sure I didn't have any blood from last night. Because if my brothers found out they would fucking kill me. As soon as I got out the shower I changed into a strip dress and added a black hat to the outfit. I made sure to grab my sunglasses and my phone as I made my way to the stairs. You're finally up, said Madeline as she handed me a plate of food. Yeah, couldn't sleep, I told her as I sat down near Theo. I looked around and noticed none of my brothers were looking at me and my sisters were giving me a face which meant they knew. I sighed as I ate the fruit on my plate. Oh, the talk I was about to get. I looked up and my eyes connected with Liam's. I just rolled my eyes at him as I chewed on a piece of bacon. So what are we doing first, I asked. Shopping, shrieked the girls. I just nodded my head as I went to dump the rest of the food on my plate, seeing as I wouldn't be able to eat anymore. I washed my plate and the dishes in the sink while everyone else finished eating. Let's go, I heard someone yell. I grabbed the phone off the counter and let out a groan as I remembered I had left my purse in my room. I quickly tried to run up the stairs but ended up tripping on a step and was on the way down towards the floor, but someone pulled me back and stopped me from falling. As soon as I felt the tingles I yanked my arm back and continued on my way to my room. I looked around searching for my bag, and finally I saw it by the window. I quickly grabbed it and teleported outside the front door. I swear sometimes I forget I can do this. I looked around and of course the only available spot was the passenger seat beside Liam. I rolled my eyes and got in as I buckled my seatbelt and leaned my head against the window. After a very awkward car ride we finally got to the shopping center and I got out the car. I walked towards the door, but I felt someone put their arm around me. So where did you go last night, asked Asher. What do you mean, I asked as I looked up at him. You know exactly what I mean, Elena, cut the bullshit, he said. I went for a walk by the beach. I couldn't sleep, I told him. Come on, we all know that isn't true, said Nick as he opened the door for everyone. But it is, I told him as I went in and tried to walk away. Elena, how many fucking times do we have to tell you not to do that shit, whisper yelled Elijah. I was hungry, I told them. We don't care what you were, you know not to go alone, said Nick. I looked around and noticed it was me and my brothers and they were surrounding me. And I could see Liam looking at us with curiosity, ignoring completely whatever his sisters were saying. I was hungry, I couldn't wait any longer. I mumbled. Why did you have to be the vampy, started Theo. Yeah, that's what I always ask myself, I told them angrily as I pushed them out the way and stormed past Liam. As I passed him I made sure to grab his sisters. There's this amazing store, y'all are going to love it. I told them as I pulled them towards my sisters. We walked into the cute little boutique and looked around. I saw a cute bathing suit, but decided against it. After 20 minutes of us being in there, they were getting ready to pay. So I grabbed this cute matching dress that would go with my baby girl. After getting dirty looks from the cashier, I was finally out the store where everyone else was waiting for me. We continued to look around until finally everyone decided they wanted to head back and spend the afternoon at the beach. We finally all got home and I went up to my room and sat down on the ground looking at all the stuff I had gotten for myself and my babies. I was looking down smiling at the cute baby clothes when the door opened, causing me to look up. My eyes met Liam's and I just ignored him and continued on folding the clothes I had gotten. "Elena," he sighed. But I just ignored him and continued to put the stuff back in the bag. I felt my babies kick. They always know when their daddy is close. Too bad he doesn't believe these babies are his. After just standing there, he grabbed some shorts and went into the bathroom. Soon he came out in just some shorts and walked out. But I made sure to look at the beautiful man in front of me before he was completely out the door. I decided to say fuck it and I put on a yellow two-piece bathing suit. I made sure to grab a cardigan and put it over the bathing suit. I kept my hair down how it was. I grabbed my sunglasses and made my way down the stairs. "Oh, look at that belly," I heard someone say. I looked up and saw Liam. "Liam," I said with a smile. "You look beautiful," he said. "Thank you, Liam," I said, hugging him. "Is everyone else down at the beach?" I asked, noticing no one else was around. "Yeah, come on, let's go," he said as he grabbed my arm and we walked towards the beach. "Remember the summers we would spend here?" he asked. "Yes, and when we would sneak out and get in trouble," I told him, laughing at the memories. "Good times," he said as he put his arm over my shoulder as we both continued to laugh. "Wait, sexy mama," I heard someone yell. I just laughed as Freya came up to me and touched my belly. "I can't wait till they are here," she said. "Me either," I told her, smiling. I looked to my right to look at Liam and noticed he was looking at me with a sad face. And from where he was looking, he had seen something. I just sighed. This is what everyone is going to look at me like. I went to one of the tanning chairs and laid down and closed my eyes and inhaled the scent of the ocean. I breathed in and out, breathing along with the sounds around me. My favorite place will always be the beach. It relaxes me so much. I could feel them looking at me, so I just continued to keep my eyes closed. But the eyes that I could feel burning into me were his. Chapter 68, Elena's POV. I took the cardigan off, knowing the looks I was about to get from them, because they were all about to see what it is I've been hiding. I set it down on the chair I was laying on and walked towards the water. I heard someone gasp, but I ignored it and continued on my way to the water. A tear slipped, but I just wiped it off as I walked in deeper. When I was deep enough, I took a deep breath in as I fell back into the water. I was fully submerged and I felt as if a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I felt the water pick up around me as I felt as if it was hugging me. I just floated there until I was pushed up by the water and I just floated on top, the water now calm with small waves that moved me around. I had my eyes shut, enjoying the water. When I was underwater, I could hear someone asking if I was okay, or when I would come back up. But good thing of having the element of water is I can be underwater for a while. I quickly stood up as I smelt blood. I looked around trying to find the source. I could see everyone look at me when I stood up, and were now trying to figure out what I was looking for. I saw as Ellie told them that I smelt blood. I slowly got out of the water as I looked around trying to see what direction the smell of the blood was coming from. My head snapped to the left as the smell of blood got stronger. I looked in the ocean and noticed someone was there struggling. I quickly ran in the direction as I felt them all run behind me. "Elena, wait, you can't go in there," I heard from behind me. I noticed it was a teenage girl and it looks like she was hurt. "She needs help," I screamed. I stepped in the water but stopped myself as it might not be safe for my babies. I saw as Nick and Liam dived in there trying to help the girl. As they pulled her towards the shore, the smell of the blood became too much and I covered my nose with my hand. "What happened? Are you okay?" I asked the girl. "I don't know, something bit me," she said. I snatched Theo's shirt which he had in his hand as I ripped it and fell down beside the girl's leg. I took a deep breath as I wrapped the shirt around her leg, blood getting all over my hands. I brought my hand up towards my face as I looked at the blood around it. I cleared my throat as I washed them with the ocean. "She needs medical help," I whispered as I cleared my throat. As I said that, I heard sirens in the distance and saw another girl running in our direction. "They are coming, okay," she said to her friend. "Thank you so much for helping her out," she cried to us. "It was no problem," said Liam. After we made sure the girl was okay, we decided to head home and make dinner. We hung out by the pool while my brothers cooked the burgers and hot dogs. I was floating on my back when I felt someone float beside me. You had control, said Theo from beside me. Of course I did, I told him. Does it still hurt, he whispered. Sometimes, I said, turning my head towards him. You know, you're the strongest person I know. You've been through a lot. And you still sit here and laugh and smile, he said. I try to be strong even when I feel like giving up, I told him sincerely. I love you, Elena. And I wouldn't have wanted to share the womb with anyone else, he said with a smile, causing me to laugh. I love you too, dork, causing him to sarcastically let out a gasp and pull me down underwater. She's pregnant, I heard someone scold Theo, but all I heard was a she will be fine back. With the flick of my wrist, I had Theo thrown with the help of the water, and he landed all the way on the other side of the pool. You fucking cheater, he yelled. I just shrugged my shoulders as I caused the water to rise over him, so that he was underwater just like I had previously been. That's not fair, he whined when he came back up. I just stuck my tongue out at him as I continued to float and enjoy all of nature. Food is ready, yelled Asher as everyone ran towards the food. I continued to float around and relaxed a bit more until I got hungry. I got out and wrapped a towel around me and walked towards the burgers that were already made. I took a bite out of my burger and walked towards where the girls were at and sat on the ground. Sit up here, Elena, said Sophie, getting up. Sit down, she always prefers the floor, said Celeste with a laugh. Are you sure? She said, looking at me. I just nodded as I took another bite of my burger. We continued to talk and the boys ended up joining us after an hour, and we just talked and told old stories until everyone started going up to their rooms. I sat at the edge of the pool enjoying the night breeze. I looked up at the moon admiring its beauty. After an hour of just sitting there, I decided to go up to my room. I walked in and grabbed my towels, and as I passed the bed I noticed someone was laying on it. I noticed it was just Liam and continued on my way to the bathroom. After a nice relaxing shower, I changed into some shorts and a large t-shirt and laid down on the other side of the bed. And I was finally able to drift off to sleep knowing Liam was beside me, and his scent relaxed me, and soon I was off to the dream world. Chapter 69, Elena's POV. After spending a relaxing week at the beach, we were finally all on the way back home. Me and Liam still hadn't spoken a word to each other. But that didn't stop me from enjoying the vacation and spending time with my family. After a long 5-hour drive back and dropping everyone else off at their house, me and Liam were finally pulling up to our new house. While we were away, all of our stuff was moved in here and put away. I got out of the car and went towards the back to grab my stuff, but it was just taken out of my hands as Liam told me to just close the trunk. I silently obeyed and walked into our house and smiled. I followed Liam up the stairs and unpacked my baby's stuff and brought it to each of their rooms. I could feel Liam come in, but I continued to put their stuff away. I'm sorry, he said. I took out my anger on you, but I was mad at myself. I was mad that you were taken from right under my nose. And then he was able to do all that he did. I promised that I would protect you and I failed, he said as he broke down right in front of me. I started, but I didn't know what to say. And I'm sorry for what I said about our babies. I know they are ours, I can feel it. I was just really mad at myself, and whether they come out like you or not, I will love them. They will have their amazing mother to help them out, he said with tears going down his face. All I could do was get up and hug him. We both sat on the floor holding each other. You're beautiful, and you don't have to hide your scars. They are what shows everyone how strong you are. With or without them, you are beautiful, okay? And they look badass, he said with a smirk. I love you, I told him. I love you more, he said as he kissed me. After he helped me put everything away, and we moved to our living room where we watched some movies and just relaxed. He fell asleep, so I decided to make him something to eat because when we ate it was around 3 p.m. and it was around 9 p.m. now. I decided to make 3 sandwiches, 1 for me and 2 for him, and I grabbed some fruit and some drinks and I went to pick up the tray, but it was snatched out of my hands, causing me to almost have a heart attack. Liam, you scared me, I told him as I held onto my stomach. I'm sorry, darling, but I can't have you carrying this heavy tray, can I? He said with a smirk as he passed me. It's not even that heavy, I mumbled. After eating our food, we continued to watch movies until we both ended up asleep in each other's arms. Chapter 70, Elena's POV. It had been a week since we've been back, and everything has been nice and calm, which is always weird for me because my life is never calm. But maybe it's time I start getting used to being okay. I heard the doorbell ring, causing me to jump. I got up from the floor where I was just at reading a book. After struggling a bit, I was finally on my way down the stairs. I opened the door and let out an excited shriek. Grandma's, I shrieked as I hugged both of them the best way I could. What are you guys doing here? I asked them as I shut the door behind them. Well, we came here to talk to you and Liam, said my grandma. About what I heard from behind me. Well, we were thinking and we think it's time that you guys take over the kingdoms, she said. Already? I asked her nervously. Yes, we think you guys are ready, she said. Elena, you have been training for the vampire in which kingdom since you were a pup? We know that you are ready for this. And Liam, although you don't have much knowledge of our kingdoms, you have knowledge of your kingdom, and have been training to take over. We think it's time, she said. All that me and Liam did was look at each other. We had no words. We would be taking over 3 kingdoms. But I started but was cut off by my grandma. No, but you guys are ready, Elena, she said. When was all I asked? Next weekend, she said casually. What? It's literally Monday, I said. Will you guys be living in the castle? She asked. I looked at Liam wondering what he was thinking, and all he did was shrug his shoulders as he also looked overwhelmed. No, we have our home here. We would of course spend some time in the castle, but our home is here, I said, looking at him as he nodded. Elena, Liam, I know this is your home, but it will be difficult to get things done. You will need the protection of the castle. It's going to be hard, she said. We will see, I told her. Okay, so we called both your parents and they should be on the way. We need to talk about this, said my grandma. I just nodded as I let out a sigh. I got up and decided to make some snacks since we were probably going to be here for a while. I made some cookies and cupcakes, some sandwiches and a couple jars of lemonade. As soon as I finished cleaning the counter, I heard the doorbell. Come in, I heard Liam say. Liam, honey, how are you? I heard his mom say. I quickly took my apron off and went to say hey to his parents and grandparents. Elena, you look beautiful, said his mom as she hugged me. Thank you, ma'am, I told her. Elena, what have I told you about calling me ma'am? She said with a stern look. Sorry, Amelia, I said with a laugh. Much better, she said as she smiled. After 20 minutes everyone was here, and now we were all on the meeting room. So me and Beatrice have decided that it's time for us to step down, and we want them to go ahead and take over the throne, said my grandma Elizabeth. That's a wonderful idea, said Liam's dad. Are you ready to step down, Dad? Asked Liam. All James did was nod. Okay, then it's settled. They will be taking over this weekend. We will all meet at the castle this Thursday so we can finish preparing and have everything ready by Saturday, said my grandma as she looked around for approval. Everyone just nodded and they continued to talk about what would happen that day and what was needed. I had asked them if they would be staying here or in the castle. They said they would stay here. But I recommend they stay in the castle, said my grandma Beatrice. It would be much easier on you guys if y'all stayed in the castle, said my mom. And everyone just nodded, agreeing with her. I just looked at Liam thinking about the whole situation. Would it really be best if we moved to the castle? Don't let our story end here. Subscribe and let's look forward to the next chapter together.